Then the other item we discussed is the pre-construction agreement for Primary Road, Highway 20. This is what we've been talking about, and making changes on for quite a while. I see in the new agreement, it looks like they did adjust all the footages on for the 2% grade.
We appreciate that because thinking about the ag people that are going to need to cross with loads and things, that was a good improvement from our perspective.
I think there's just one intersection that by the bridge that was going to not be able to hit the 2%. And
which bridge?
Which county road is that? It's where it's a gravel road. Is that east-west road?
No.
No. It's a north-south.
the bridge was just so close to.
I don't know if that was in the south.
Oh, maybe it was down. Maybe it's not even.
Oh, yeah, that's Calhoun.
Yeah,
It's Calhoun.
Ron, here's the current stuff. There's
Okay.
Oh, right, indeed.
You know what is that?
That's what's called
Everything
All cross sections.
everything that
Bucky Way. The drainage ditch is right there.
In the corner.
No, there's a bridge right south of Bucky Williams, and the drainage just goes east-west there, and the Highway 20 is just south 100 feet or whatever. And so to match our bridge, until that bridge gets changed, it's a fairly new bridge. It's going to be, I can't remember.
I think it's still it's in that 3 to 4%.
Yeah, I think they improved it a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, we've got and will have quite a lot of ag activity that are pulling wagons across those, and unless conditions are dry and perfect, that becomes a concern of getting started and crossing, and so we appreciated the effort or the change.
To back up for a second, I should have mentioned this earlier, but Jim did send that notice of intent for the transfer agreement on N14, and we did get that published in the paper.
One thing on those county roads, if anybody comments about the status of them this winter, I don't think we got any of those changes done now. Any of them that we're opening right now, we're just opening temporarily to get them open.
Oh, you're not getting that built?
No, not yet, because we got most of the
some
stuff.
close.
They were really close, and they tried kind of halfway guessing the 2%, but we didn't have everything from design quick enough to get it done. And most of these, a lot of them probably aren't. A lot of them aren't built to open yet, but we're getting them passable and rock and that kind of stuff. So most of these roads that we're opening now, we will have to close again next year to get them built. And Rolf is one that there is much fill as there was in there. That one, there's quite a bit of, we have to do some pipe extensions and stuff on the county road and do some changes there, so, but all that stuff. Right now, we're getting them so we can open them for the winter, and all the changes will be done next year. So in case you guys hear, or somebody look, well, that doesn't look like 2% or whatever, none of that really is in place right now, so.
That's temporary.
Right.
But the agreement does go through and touches on all the crossroads that are being affected by Highway 20, and also, talks about on 230th Street, the east-west road that's not going to get a connection to Mid 20, with the DOT's building about a 320-foot bridge in there to take 230th over New 20.
That's by Ashwell's.
Yeah.
Yeah, north, it's just northwest of
Yeah. They got the berms up on that yet, or?
Yep.
Well, they need them.
Got them up Sunday.
Because the contract's been let. Did they have all the berms up now then?
Yep. Yep, so we'll start building bridges now. We don't have we haven't had a pre-con for the 230th Street Bridge yet, but I have a note that they're wanting to, I think December 6th is the late start date, if I remember right. So,
Who got that one?
Christensen.
Christian.
And they've contacted me to get a pre-con scheduled, we just haven't got one scheduled yet, so.
What would be the build dates? I know they're driving piling on 200, or on the Cedar, and you are letting, or you have let the one on the Raccoon?
Raccoon has been let, N14 has been let, and Goberson Smith got both of those, and they've actually started moving in on N14. And I think they were talking this week or next week, they're moving in on the Raccoon. And we'll be working on both of those sites probably all winter.
Because I know early in the fall they were driving piling on the Cedar.
Right, yeah, that one was let quite a bit earlier, but we just got all the berms up at N14 and the Raccoon and then at 230th, so we'll actually have all 4 sites being worked on this winter.
I haven't been over on Highway 4 for a long time. Is the berm done on the west side?
Yeah, we got the berm up there too, finally. So I think that one we had slid, it was supposed to be in the September letting, we moved it back to December because we weren't sure about the weather and the burn stuff there, but we got that built, so that should stay in the December letting, and that one may start this winter too, so we may have all 5 going this winter.
One thing that we've talked, and we're kind of jumping all over here, if you don't mind, but the construction, the road construction around N28, there's a significant drainage problem there, and we wrote you guys a letter asking for some consideration or some help, which you declined. You're going to have some scheduling difficulty there because of it being so wet.
What's the name of N28? I don't know if I...
It's the county line.
Dakota.
Between Sac and County.
That's Dakota or...
Yeah, and I guess we were wondering why you weren't getting, well, the getting was good, because it was dried out this fall and there wasn't any activity there. You may not stick a spade in there until next fall.
There was an area over there, and I'm not down here enough to have all these roads memorized when we're doing 25 miles of grading, but there was an area that they jumped into here late this fall to get some, and I don't remember if that was Durant, which was maybe the next road over, but there was an area that they had started hauling to try to get up out of the bottom, but I can't remember if it was...
So that's going to be an obstacle, because...
Well, and that being a paved road, we wouldn't, you know, the actual grading and paving of that paved road will be with the paving project. So we would only grade up to it.
You guys purchased an 80 there for a borrow pit right west of N28, right in Sac County, and that's a wet spot. It's going to be difficult.
And as far as why maybe did or didn't get in there, that's completely the contractor's control. You know, I can't tell him. I mean, we might be able to suggest certain things, but and they've been down here working. You know, Moyna's got that whole stretch now, and I think they're well aware of the conditions. It's their big push, you know, as of the lettings in July was these bridge berms.
Sure. Which makes sense.
Several 100,000 cubic meters just to get that east berm up for the Raccoon River. I mean, there was a 50-foot fill there.
Yeah, on the west side, they could drag it downhill.
Yeah, right, part of that roadway cut.
You know, that's a lot easier than digging holes and hauling it. That went really fast on the west side.
Yeah,
That's
actually the east side ended up getting done first,
Yeah, they started a lot earlier.
but some of the materials out there, you know, you guys were around this summer, it was pretty wet all summer long, and
hope it
Well, that area's
cooperates
tough,
next
you know.
spring, because
That's the trouble with Calhoun County and that part. It was historically it was a swamp until recently. But maybe we'll have a dry spring.
yeah, hope it.
it's gotta get dry sooner or later, doesn't it?
Next summer we'll all be crying for rain.
I guess going on with the agreement here, on page 3 there, about a third of the way down, item C. I think I gave one copy to you a couple weeks ago. I think this is the same. Item C there is what was added as far as the 2% grades, and like I said, they adjusted most of the distances up above that to reflect that 2% changes. But that paragraph there also says that, you know, they're gonna get the information to me, and then I've got to provide written approval for those intersections. If there's any that can't make the 2%, and like I said, I think at least that preliminary meetings we had, they were going to be able to get 2% of all of them.
Yeah.
I haven't gone through and looked at what they just printed it.
Down in item 3, I guess, just touch a couple things there. Item C, the grading and the paving will be staged so that no two consecutive county roads are closed at the same time. I mean, that's in there, but you know, I've got the option if I feel it helps the project along to let them close too, like we did this fall with Wadsley and Xavier. And I'll continue to do that if it's short term, trying to get things done for a deadline or something.
And it makes a significant difference whether it's harvest activity or, and we were done, so that made good sense to.
And then item D there, it's also agreed that they won't close, should say 2 consecutive.
Yeah, it does.
Paved county roads, in other words, if they've got N14 closed, they can't close N28 or N54 at the same time. They'll have to watch that when they get their paving plans. That's what you just say. We didn't get that done in Calhoun.
That's because nobody knew about it until you told me. I shouldn't say nobody, I didn't. Well, we got through it.
When you lose staff, some of that goes with them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, most of the rest of the language, I think, is pretty well similar to what was originally proposed. There's a few things in there I wish we could change, but I've argued with the DOT.
And which ones were those?
Well, like the
That you had
detour.
trouble?
When we detour, we gotta set up the detour signs, and we gotta sign it, and so it's cost to us, but it's our road, and so the argument I guess I heard from the DOT is that when we detour a road on the state roads, then they put up the signs and take them down for us, so basically the same thing here, we got to put signs out for them, so.
You're talking about the paragraph B there under 3, the last line, any detours which may be
Yeah.
necessary, because I know I highlighted that in the original.
Yeah.
Come on, let's prepare for one, let's prepare for the other.
But otherwise, I think everything is pretty well. You know, item on the 4th page there, item 6, transfer of jurisdiction, that talks about the TJ that we just signed for N14.
We had looked this over and a couple of those things, we had that, and then we had the consideration of the slopes, and those were really the only.
That was the only two things I think we were,
Yeah.
I don't have it.
I did have a question on the guardrail on that bridge on 230th Street, but then somebody pointed out that there is a IM that says the guardrail on those bridges are the counties to maintain. State maintains the bridge, but we maintain the guardrails.
We are gonna put, I don't know that it's in the plans that you got, but we are gonna put bridge approaches on that bridge also. Concrete bridge approaches.
Oh, okay.
I don't know for sure if we're gonna do like a 20-foot, just a 20-foot double reinforced, or if we'll do the full 60-foot.